Play Store. Edit short. Mushy. Mushy talkback on. Home button. Recents button. Reserve global home button. Repeat. Spell. Read. Pause. Mushy talk. Recents button. Home. Home button. Back button. Accessibility. Back. Speak when. Shake to. Speak up. Sound feedback. Focus speak. Sound volume. Explore by touch. Alert disable explore by touch. Disable explore by touch. Are you sure you want to turn off explore by touch? Your device will no longer respond to shortcut gestures or speak items when you touch the screen. Cancel version 1. Focus sound launch managed launch explore by touch tutorial. Accessibility tutorial. Application icons. When explore by touch is turned on, you can touch the screen to learn what's under your finger. For example, the current screen contains app icons. Find one of them by touching the screen and sliding your finger around. Showing item 1 of 110. Clock. Good. Keep sliding your finger around the screen until you find at least one more icon. Calculator. You can also explore by swiping your finger left and right anywhere on the screen. Try quickly swiping from left to right to move to the next icon. Blind Simone. To activate something that you've explored, tap the screen twice. Explore until you find the A blind legend icon. Then double tap anywhere on the screen to activate it. Blind Bixby, Big Bell, Beeport, Audio, Arrange, ARs, Aptor, Antique, Adobe, Acapella, a blind lesson. You found the A. To move to the next lesson, find the next button, located near the bottom right corner of the screen, then double tap to lesson, next, exit, Lazarillo. Lookout, live, Lazarus, G's, IV, internet, group, grand, cheap, game, gallic, extra, clock, crow, chime, camera, blind, exit, big bell, be poorly. Arranger keyboard, audio, arranger, clock. Neck, home, back, sat, my, calendar, message, Chrome, camera, YouTube. Lesson 1, exploring the next button. To scroll through a list, you can slide 2 fingers along the screen. For example, the current screen contains a list of app names that can scroll up or down. First, try to explore the screen and identify an app. Showing items 1 to 11 of Aptoid. Now place 2 fingers on an item in the list and slide both fingers up. If you reach the top of the screen, lift your fingers, place them lower on the list, and continue sliding up. Google TV. You can also scroll an entire page by swiping your finger. To scroll to the next page, swipe right then left using a single motion. Try to scroll to the next page by swiping right then left. Live transcribe. Explore the screen again to find an app in the current page. Messages. Swiping the opposite direction, left then right in a single motion, will move to the previous page. Try to scroll to the previous page by swiping left then right. Lazarillo. To move to the next lesson, find the next button, locate back button, accessible Samsung My Calendar, Internet. Let's Google TV. Lesson 2, scrolling through next button. Talkback has 2 context menus that make it easy to find settings and controls, the global context menu and the local context menu. You can activate a menu item by sliding your finger around the circle of menu items and releasing when you hear the desired item. Try bringing up the global context menu by swiping your finger down then right in a single motion. Alert global context menu. The global context menu contains general commands that work everywhere throughout Talkback. Try reading all the text on the screen. Press on the center of the screen to bring up a circular menu around your finger, and then read from next item. Spell last utterance. Spell last utterance. Read from top. Lesson 3, context, good. That command will read all of the items on the screen. In addition to a global context menu, Talkback also has a local context menu. The local context menu contains controls that change based on what item on the screen you have selected. Try bringing up the local context menu by swiping your finger up then right in a single motion. Alert local context menu. Pressing your finger down in the center of the screen and then lifting it will cancel and close the menu. Try closing the local context menu now. Characters. Words, lines. Pressing your finger down in the center of the screen and then lifting it will cancel and close the menu. Paragraphs. Pages. Default. Character word lines. Pages. Pressing your finger down in the center of the screen and then lifting it will cancel and close the menu. Try closing the default characters. Word line. Paragraph. Pages. Lines. Pressing your finger down in the center of the screen and then lifting it will cancel. Local context menu. Default. Pressing your local context menu. Characters. Default.
Oh my god, man. What's happening? Hold on.
Words.
See?
Pressing your finger down in the center of the screen and then lifting it will pressing your lines. Paragraphs. Pressing your finger down in the center of the screen and then lifting it will cancel and close the menu.
You need to stop
Try
it.
closing the local context menu now.
You're basically being like voice assistant.
Pressing your finger down in the center of the screen and then lifting it will pressing your finger down in the center of pressing your finger down in the center of lines. Words. Pressing your finger down in the center of the screen and then pressing your finger down in the center of the lines. Paragraph. Pressing page. Cancel. Press local. Pressing your cancel button. Pressing your finger down. Lesson 3. Context menus. Next button. Previous button. Lesson 3. Pressing your finger down in the center of the pressing your finger down in pressing your finger down pressing your finger down alert local context menu. Pressing your finger down in the center of the screen and then lifting it will cancel and close the menu.
Oh my
Try
god.
pressing your finger down in the center of pressing your finger down in pressing your finger down. Next button. Pressing your previous lesson 3. Next button.
I'm about to go to the next part of the lesson.
Talkback has granularity controls that give you different ways to navigate through text. For example, you can read text paragraph by paragraph, word by word, or even character by character. To get started, find the text box in the center of the screen to read its content. Next, previous button. This is some example text that focusing an item will read all of its text using the default granularity. Try changing the granularity to read this text one character at a time. This can be helpful if you want to spell a name or read an email address, for example. First, swipe your finger up then right to bring up the local context menu. Lesson 4, Reading Granularities. Alert local context menu. Good. Now, slide your finger around the menu until you hear characters, then select it. Words, lines, words, characters. Characters. Lesson 4, Reading Granularities. Good. You are now navigating by character granularity. Swiping from the top of the screen to the bottom of the screen will move forward by one character. Try swiping from the top of the screen to the bottom of the screen 3 times to read the next 3 characters of the text. Period. 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 S. E. You now know how to change the reading granularity in red text. To continue, activate the next button, located near the bottom right corner of the screen. India. E. S. S. E. I. Alert local context menu. Word line or characters. Word characters. Default. Default. Lesson 4. Reading granularities. Previous button. This is you now next button. This lesson will help you use Talkback to edit a piece of text. To get started, find the text box in the center of the screen. Finish previous edit box. Sample text. Once you have selected a text field that can be edited, you can tap twice anywhere on the screen to bring up the keyboard and start editing the text. Try double tapping the screen now. English US QWERTY shown. Alert expand toolbar. Edit box, currently editing. Sample text. Spacebar. B, M, left, J, C, B, spacebar. Edit box, current, lesson 5, editing text. Edit box, currently edit previous button. Once you have selected a text field that can be edited, you can tap twice anywhere on the screen to bring up the keyboard and start editing the text. Try double tapping the screen now. Edit box, English US QWERTY shown. English US QWERTY shown. Space, V, spacebar, space. Showing items 1, space, K, L. Done. Sample text. English US QWERTY shown. Alert expand toolbar. There is already some text in the field. You can move the cursor to the beginning of the text from the local context menu. Swipe up then right in a single motion. Activate cursor control, then activate move cursor to beginning. Preview finish button. Lesson 5, editing text. Alert local context menu. Alert local context menu. Lesson 5, editing text. N. Alert local context menu. There is already some text in the field. You can move the cursor to the beginning of the text from the local context menu. Swipe up then right in a single motion. Activate cursor control, then activate move cursor to beginning. N, comma. Alert local context menu.
This is oh wait, stop. Hold on a second.
Shift control. Symbol. There is already some text in the field. You can move the cursor to the beginning of the text from the alert local context menu. Expand settings button. Characters. Default. Local context menu. Default character. Word. Paragraphs. Cancel button. Paragraph. Word. Character. Default. Local context. Default characters. Words. Paragraph. There is already some text in the field. You can move the cursor to the beginning of the text from the local context menu. Swipe up then right in a single motion. Activate cursor control, then activate move cursor to beginning. Local context default. Local context menu. There is already some text in the field. Default. Character. Default. Character. Word. Character. Word. Word. Character. Word. Cancel. Word. Characters. Default. Character. Word. Paragraphs. Paragraphs. Lesson 5. Editing text. There is already some text in the field. You can move. There is already some text in the. There is already some text in the field. You can move the cursor to the beginning of the text from the local context menu. Swipe up then right in a single motion. Activate cursor control, then activate move cursor to beginning. Settings button. There is already some text in the field. You can move the cursor to the beginning. Settings button. U Y T R E W Q del. There is already some text in the field. 6. There is already some text in the field. You can move the cursor to the beginning of the 7. Right. Finish button. Spacebar. Edit. Finish button. Edit box. Finish button. Edit box. There is already backspace. There is already some edit box. Currently editing. I J M. Spacebar M. Spacebar. H N. Spacebar. Finish. Space. Edit. Space. There is already space. There is already some text in the field. You can symbols. There is already some text in the field. You can move the cursor to the beginning of the text from the local context menu. Swipe up then right in a single motion. Activate cursor control. Shift up. There is shift. There is already some spacebar. Right. There is already right. Expand toolbar. Voice input button. Handwriting button. Handwriting button. Handwriting. There is fixed keyboard. There is already some text in the field. You can move the cursor to the beginning. 5 F J. Edit L right J. There is already some text. There is already some text. C. There is already some text in the field. You can move the cursor to the beginning.
Okay. It was maybe not a complete failure, but tough. Oh my god.
There is already some comma. There is already shift on. There is already some text in the field. You can move the cursor to the symbols. There is already some spacebar.
Screen reader.
There is already some there is already some control. There is a space bar left. There is already some X. E L. There is already some text in the field. M space.
There we
Space. Right. Left. Right. Space. Left. Space. Right. Expand toolbar. Settings. Voice input. Button. Handwriting. Fixed keyboard. Button. Split keyboard. Clipboard. Expressions. 1. 2. Edit box. Currently editing. Previous button. Finish button. Previous button.
What am I missing? Wait, did I forget to get the cursor in the beginning? Never mind, I'm just finishing it.
Finish button. Mushy talkback settings. Mushy talkback settings. Focus speech audio. Decrease other audio volume while speaking. Not checked. Checkbox. Mushy. Home button. Home. Notification. Casting. Boot. Wi-Fi. Open set. Sound on. Airplane. Locate. Media. Home. Home. Expand. Expand. More. Open setting. Power off button. More option. 720. Bluetooth. Airplane. Power. Location. Locate. Screen. Screen recorder. On. Screen recorder. On. Button.
So that's it for the tutorial. The thing kept on beeping several times, and I don't know why, but it did. But that's the tutorial. See you in the next vid. Yeah.